Can payment on a cashier's check be stopped after it's issued? If you are curious about whether you can stop payment on a cashier's check after it has been issued, you are not alone. Cashier's checks are often used for large transactions because they are considered guaranteed funds. This means that once a cashier's check is issued, the bank is responsible for the payment. So, can you stop it? Generally, the answer is no. Once a cashier's check is issued, the funds are guaranteed by the bank, and it is obligated to honor the check when presented. However, there are a few exceptions to this rule. If the cashier's check is lost, stolen, or destroyed, you can contact the issuing bank. You will need to report the situation and request a stop payment or cancellation. In this case, the bank may ask you to file a declaration of loss or an affidavit explaining what happened. Be prepared for a waiting period, which is typically around 90 days. This waiting period is in place to prevent fraud or double payment. Another situation where stopping payment might be possible is if there is clear evidence of fraud or theft. However, this process is more complicated than with personal checks. You will need to provide formal documentation and get approval from the bank. It is also important to note that the Uniform Commercial Code governs stop payment orders. For cashier's checks, the bank's liability generally ends once the check is issued and paid, except in cases of fraud or loss. You must follow the bank's specific procedures, which may include submitting written requests and affidavits. From the perspective of banks and credit unions, cashier's checks are treated as guaranteed funds. This means that stopping payment is not a routine process and is approached with caution to protect everyone involved. If you find yourself in a situation where a cashier's check is lost or stolen, it is best to act quickly. Follow the bank's procedures carefully, as fees may apply for stop payment requests or reissuing cashier's checks. In summary, while stopping payment on a cashier's check after it has been issued is generally not allowed, there are special circumstances where it may be accommodated. These include situations involving loss, theft, or fraud, but they usually requiring documentation and a waiting period. Always check with your bank for their specific policies and procedures regarding cashier's checks.